Welcome to today's lesson on the impact of land use activities on the environment, where we will specifically look at deforestation and the destruction of peat bogs. These activities are causing significant damage to ecosystems, and it is crucial to understand the consequences they bring. In today's lesson, we will first understand that humans modify land for various purposes. Next, we will explore how deforestation is leading to habitat loss, reduced biodiversity, and contributing to climate change. Then, we'll move on to discuss the destruction of peat bogs and how it releases stored carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, exacerbating the greenhouse effect. So far, you have learnt about the effect of a rising human population and its effect on waste production. This knowledge about how human activities affect the environment sets the stage for us to delve deeper into specific land use activities and their broader ecological impacts. We will discuss how understanding land use activities like deforestation and peat bog destruction is crucial for developing strategies to preserve biodiversity, protect terrestrial habitats, and prevent climate change. Today, we will explore how certain land use activities by humans cause significant damage to the environment. We will focus on two primary activities: deforestation and the destruction of peat bogs. Let's get started. Firstly, let's understand that humans modify land for various purposes. These include building infrastructure such as roads, homes, and factories; quarrying, which involves extracting rock and minerals; farming to grow crops and rear animals; and dumping waste materials. These activities reduce the amount of land available for other organisms, leading to a reduction in biodiversity. Two of the most impactful activities are deforestation and the destruction of peat bogs. Deforestation refers to the large-scale cutting down of forests. This is usually done for creating land for farming, either for crops or livestock, or growing crops for biofuels. There are various problems caused by deforestation. One is loss of habitats. Cutting down trees destroys the habitats of numerous plant and animal species, leading to a significant loss in biodiversity. Many species rely on forests for survival, and when these forests are removed, these species are at risk of extinction. Another is increased carbon dioxide levels. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the process of photosynthesis. When trees are cut down and burned or left to decompose, the carbon stored in the trees is released back into the atmosphere as CO2. This contributes to global warming because CO2 is a greenhouse gas that traps heat in the Earth's atmosphere. There is also the problem of less carbon dioxide absorption. With fewer trees, there's less photosynthesis occurring. This means that less carbon dioxide is being removed from the atmosphere, further contributing to climate change. Peat bogs are unique environments that are waterlogged and acidic. The conditions in peat bogs slow down the decomposition of plant material, resulting in the accumulation of peat, a rich carbon store. Peat bogs act as carbon sinks because they store large amounts of carbon in the form of partially decayed plants, peat. This storage prevents the carbon from being released into the atmosphere. Humans often remove peat from bogs to use as a fuel or for agricultural purposes such as compost. Removing peat disrupts this carbon storage and causes problems. For example, the release of carbon dioxide. When peat is exposed to air, microbes begin to break it down, releasing CO2 through the process of respiration. When peat is burned as a fuel, even more CO2 is released, contributing to global warming. Peat also forms very slowly over thousands of years, making it a non-renewable resource. The current rate of peat extraction far exceeds the rate at which it is being formed. Destruction of peat also causes loss of habitat and biodiversity. Peat bogs support unique ecosystems with specialized plants, animals, and microorganisms. Destroying peat bogs leads to the loss of these habitats and the biodiversity they support. It is important to recognize that peat is beneficial for agriculture, providing a cheap compost that enhances food production. However, the environmental costs, such as CO2 emissions and habitat destruction, present major challenges. This highlights the conflict between the need to use natural resources for economic purposes and the need to conserve our environment for future generations. In today's lesson, we examine the impact of human land use activities on the environment, focusing specifically on deforestation and the destruction of peat bogs. We started by understanding the various purposes for which humans use land, such as building infrastructure, quarrying, farming, and dumping waste. We discussed deforestation, where large areas of forest are cleared for agriculture, urban development, or logging. This activity leads to habitat loss for many species and increased carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere due to fewer trees absorbing CO2 and CO2 release when trees are burnt or decompose. Next, we explored the destruction of peat bogs, which are unique ecosystems that store vast amounts of carbon in the form of peat. When peat bogs are drained or burned for agriculture, or to obtain peat for fuel, the stored carbon is released into the atmosphere as CO2, contributing to global warming. Additionally, the destruction of peat bogs results in the loss of rare plant and animal species that are adapted to this environment. Through the discussion of these two examples, we highlighted how critical it is to manage land use sustainably to mitigate environmental damage. By understanding the consequences of deforestation and peat bog destruction, we can appreciate the importance of preserving natural habitats and the need for policies and practices that protect our ecosystems.
Watch the rest of the GCSE biology course at Sophos Education.